Hey guys, good evening. How are you doing? I'm not Casey here, and tonight we're going to talk about the topic of Destiny DLC getting pushed back till November. It was huge update, and a lot of people are just really upset about it. But I think this is kind of a time to kind of step back and look at the grander scheme of this, like the industry, the country, and the world. But also take a step back in and look at how important this DLC is and some of the implications of this DLC. So, like what's coming and then the health of the DLC that we're getting. So, starting off, just diving into my first point is that the development challenges tackling working together to build a game separated from each other, from coworkers and stuff. So, from working from home has its challenges. Personally, I work from home now. My office is shut down, or if you can work from home, they advise that you do. And it's difficult to get your job done when you are used to working in the environment with other people where you have all your resources handy. You can just, talk to one another, shoot ideas off each other. It's really, really, that those things, those cohesions in the workplace are really important, and those are missed. So it takes a greater toll on development. I mean, it takes a greater toll on your workload than you would think. And same goes, I think, for Bungie here. Lack of cohesion and idea sharing when working in the same room rather than working from home, passing an idea through VoIP or chat. It's just, you don't have the same type of collaboration you do when working together rather than working in front of your computers. You have a lack of resources as well, both hardware and other people. Like, you can't just get up and go talk to someone. If you just have to wait for them to get back to you and respond to you. It's not like you can go meet face to face and do idea sharing. It's just really, it's really, it takes the process a lot, or more steps in the process to try and share ideas. I guess there's more barriers now in sharing ideas and building an idea together with each other, and also just hardware issues, wherein you have your office space, workspace that actually has all of your hardware that you need. It's facilitating your job to get your work done as best as possible. Your home life isn't really set up like that. Like, my home situation isn't set up to work as efficiently as I can because it's my home. It's not set up that way. I'm getting there, but it was kind of a rough transition. And then obviously when working from home, there's more distractions: family, animals, neighbors, anything in general. It's just more distracting when working from home if you're not used to it and don't have a set up space for working in. So overall, it's just, working in this type of new environment with COVID and all this other stuff going on, where we're, being separated and social distancing, development on games is taking a lot more of a toll, because deadlines, that you had made back in, end of last year into this year are really hard to keep up with when you start having to run, a race with, with your shoes tied, essentially. It takes a lot more coordination to get from point A to point B. So it's understandable that they pushed back the DLC. I can understand it from that point. In any other circumstances, if they pushed back the DLC, I'd be a little concerned. But this year, it makes sense. I was actually really surprised that they wouldn't push the DLC back, because I'm like, wow, they're actually making it work rather than everyone else having to push their development back. But yeah, here we are. DLC health. Ultimately, like, I support this decision because I want the DLC to be super healthy. I think it'll be a really good idea to have the DLC be as pristine and polished as possible, as to be worth our time. Rushing things in the current environment will only cause more problems, as bug fixes and sandbox updates take longer now. Like I said, everything I said in the first portion, where kind of working together to get something done takes longer because there's more barriers in communication. So updates to the sandbox and then updates to bug fixing is going to take longer. So the more time they spend on polishing this thing, the better it'll be in the long run, because there's less work they'll have to do to maintain it, fix things and whatnot. And this DLC is probably too large of a change to really rush with as much ground that Bungie is breaking in the Destiny sandbox. Which leads into my final point: what's to come. With all the big changes to weapons and armor and PvP matchmaking and new subclasses, I feel like there's really a big and pivotal DLC coming, that Bungie is bringing, more than just bringing a new story. I think it's going to be a huge update they're going to bring. I think they're going to change the sandbox. I think they're going to change leveling. I think they're going to do a lot of this stuff. Mainly because I'm hopeful and I'm speculative. And there's a lot of things that they're moving and shifting that it seems kind of arbitrary, but I'm almost wondering, how big the grander scheme is that they're trying to make for this whole entire DLC. Like, are they actually trying to break the game into a more moldable piece in what they're moving forward in? Like next year, like a better leveling system, better weapon tier system, better better grind, better pursuit, better, all these things. It seems like there's a lot of changes coming that seem kind of disjointed, but they might be part of a bigger puzzle piece that is just harder to see because we're not in the DLC. So Bungie, and the other point, like, Bungie wants to get this right, as it's the beginning of their trilogy for Destiny 2, beginning with Beyond Light, ending with Nightfall. So I mean, this is the other thing. Like, I think it's huge because this is kind of their pivotal point, right? They have their Nightfall, or they have their Beyond Light that they're starting, and they announced the next 3 DLCs: Savathun, something Taken Queen, I can't remember, and then Lightfall. And it's a journey. They're planning their roadmap and they're building their story, and I think it's just going to be a huge crescendo, going into their 3rd year. But it's going to be a really great. They're building it to be a really great ride, and I think they're needing to update the game to do so. And this DLC is going to be kind of the big tester for it. And the last thing, it's more of, I have a lot of conspiracies about where Bungie could be taking Destiny. But kind of lastly, Bungie has done a really good job of pulling DLC, like really good DLC content, like out of nowhere. Like Taken King was super cool, but everyone kind of lost their minds when they announced what Taken King was going to have. And then Forsaken was also really cool. Obviously, Destiny 2 Year 1 was a big shamble, but Taken King and Forsaken were really huge DLCs that they had built and conceived of, and obviously had help in. But you know what? I think they're confident in their ability to publish and create their own game like they have done so before. So this is the road that they're choosing to take, and I think they have a lot of really cool things in store for us as we move forward. Yeah, anyhow, I guess that's going to end it for now. That's all the points I have. I wanted to talk through about the DLC pushback, things like that. I'm really hopeful for it. I think there's a lot of good things coming. I'm really excited for it. I am sad to see it be pushed back in November. Sounds like it's going to be kind of a rough month for a lot of people because a lot of good games are in there, and Thanksgiving and all that other stuff. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. For those of you live here, thank you so much for hanging out and being here. I appreciate it. You guys stick around because we're going to play some games. And for everyone on YouTube, I appreciate you guys so much. If you're watching this video to this point, you guys are troopers, and I greatly appreciate you. If you like the video, please give it a like. And if you like the content, please subscribe for more. I'm trying to do these as much as possible at the beginning of my Twitch streams, so that I can have some content to port over to YouTube. Getting a little bit better at it, I think, in terms of how I present the content, but sometimes it can be a little disjointed, especially if I kind of ramble on like I am now. Guys, appreciate you so much. I'll catch you later in the next video. Take care.